Hello friends, and welcome to this little video on the Community of Christ website for Canada. While you're here, I hope you'll look around a little. We've created this website with pride and aspiration, wanting to share some about Community of Christ and who we're trying to be in a Canadian context. My name is Art Smith. I'm originally from Gatineau, Quebec. I grew up in Community of Christ, attending the Ottawa congregation. Now I live in Independence, Missouri in the USA, where I serve at our international church headquarters as the apostle responsible for Community of Christ in Canada, as well as for the Caribbean, parts of Mexico, Texas, and for the First People congregation of Community of Christ. I'm not able to travel to Canada right now, so I've set up a little piece of Canada here in my office in the Community of Christ Temple. I hope that you're doing okay. I know that for so many, the pandemic has been just brutal. And I'm praying for those who've experienced loss of all sorts. But I'm here in this little video to invite you into a conversation. At the end of 2019, our church president, Steve Veazey, challenged us to see that the church needed to go through a metamorphosis of sorts. We've wanted to refocus on moving towards the Jesus of justice and peace for the world. And in the midst of this, our Community of Christ World Church Leadership Council has been engaged in a year-long discernment process. We didn't plan this to coincide with the pandemic, but no sooner did we get started than the pandemic came alongside all of us. The pandemic has certainly allowed us to see things differently, as we've been trying to be open to thinking about new ways of being the church. I'm feeling strongly that in Canada, it's time for us to step back and reflect on how we want to be Community of Christ in Canada for the next part of our journey. In that spirit, I'll be working with Mission Center leaders and our communications team for Canada to begin what we're calling All Voices Discerning Across Canada. You're invited to participate in a time of intentional reflection and discernment. We want to hear your voice. We want to understand what you're feeling about what's most important, what we ought to do, where we should go, how we are called to be as Community of Christ in Canada. Given our true capacity, given our desire to move towards Jesus, the peaceful one, how do we see Community of Christ identity lived out in Canada in the years to come? We're going to be working over this next year to open up opportunities for sharing, listening, and hearing. I want to hear from you. I'm interested in your ideas if you're the oldest person in your congregation or if you're the youngest. I want to invite you to participate in this if you live in the big city or if your nearest neighbor lives a kilometer away. I want all voices to include the voices of people of all gender identities and sexual orientations. We want to listen to people from the West and from the East too. I hope you'll participate in All Voices if you're from a big congregation or a small one, but also if your Community of Christ connection might just be through family heritage or through having participated in a youth camp, a family camp, or if you went to a retreat one time or a meditation group, or if you streamed a Community of Christ lecture or church service over the internet. I'm sensing that for the future, we're going to need to find simple, flexible approaches that allow us to adapt and respond to the world around us in ways that bless. I believe that our future is already emerging. I'm trusting that you already sense what is being born too. And that as we share with each other, we'll find a future that includes wonderful and creative ways of living our mission and being Community of Christ in Canada. So please watch for surveys, small group discussions, virtual conferences, and other opportunities to speak. Reach out to us if you want to make sure that you or your congregation, campground, book circle, or coffee group is heard. I hope you'll add your voice to the conversation so that we can truly be all voices discerning across Canada.